It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey, good morning, guys. So, okay, it looks a little bit different today because I'm not standing up, but I don't know what's going on. Anyways, we're back to Wake Up and Adam with me with my 4 shots of espresso. And yes, I've had all 4. Guys, I'm so excited to be back. I don't know if I was wondering, what is that noise in the background? If Jason's watching, I think it's the TV, so maybe he'll turn it down. Guys, less than a minute in, and we already have 100 in the room. Don't forget, this is a subscribers-only live chat. So if you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to smash that like button, and we have a lot to cover. Yesterday, we celebrated 100K, which was so amazing with some of my favorite content creators. Not all of them, but we did have Emily D. Baker, DJ Richie Sky, Zach Peter, Dana Wilkie, Jason, and it was an amazing time. I wasn't expecting it to last 2 hours, but thank you for all of you guys who came in to celebrate. We appreciate you. Also, guys, I pinned the call-in link at the top of the live chat, and I asked you guys, where are you from? Because, well, I'm curious. I want to know exactly where everybody's from so I know who's in the room. So with that, congratulations, Adam Baby. Hey, Gabriella. Hi. I'm glad to be still up to watch this. Hi, Mocha Rain. Such a great live. Thank you, Krista. Guys, almost 150 in the room. That's amazing. So yesterday, we talked a little bit because Andy Cohen put a statement out regarding Nguyen. Now, the video was not dedicated to that, so I will replay it for you guys today. Not only that, but Meredith Marks has made her own statement. Of course, we're going to touch a little bit on Tasha K and Cardi B. We have $1 million listing legend who is exiting the franchise, and we also have a new franchise coming to Bravo. So there's a lot happening. Hopefully we can get through it all. But before we get started, I do want to kick this off with just like a funny, like a funny little thing to put us in the right mood, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up this Instagram that someone sent me because I thought it was great. And I was like, this puts me in the mood. Thank you, Perez. Yes. This kid's feeling himself. I love this. Why does this put me in such a good mood? He sees you're watching him. Oh, but he's not done. No. Whoa! He got me. Okay. So he got me excited. Now, again, we're not back to talk about some little kid dancing, but I do like the funny videos that I get to see, whether they're from Perez Hilton, B. Scott. I mean, there are some amazing ones on Instagram, and they always put me in a good mood. Quentin Dean said, cute, too cute. He's going places. Love it. I know. I wish the Ellen show was still around. I mean, it's still around, but they're coming up to their last leg of the show. She is walking away from the show, but she definitely would have had this kid on. Now, getting back to it, I did want to play the Andy Cohen audio because he addressed what was going on with Nguyen on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but it was it came off very indirect. Like, I think what's going on right now, well, I'll talk about it after I played the audio. I personally think, though, what's happening is Andy doesn't have control over what's going on. I feel like it's up to the suit and ties, the executives at Bravo, and they're waiting to make a final decision. But in the meantime, that's not going to stop me from playing this for all of you, just in case you haven't heard it. So here we go.
Move on. I was about Jenny from Salt Lake City. I was on tape last night. We taped last night's episode Wednesday, and people were very upset about the lack of discussion on last night's episode relating to Jenny's disgusting and upsetting posts. And I've also seen all the tweets wanting to know what's being done about those posts. Just want to say, in case anyone doesn't realize it, that there are many serious discussions happening right now about everything. And I can't address the situation right now, but it will be addressed very soon. And thank you for your patience. And the posts were very upsetting, rightfully, and disgusting. So there you go. I heard that the Smith sisters were great talking about this on Friday, and I need to listen to that episode on today.
Okay. So that was a very indirect way to address the situation. Now, I know I was reading social media and Twitter last night. First of all, I have to say this. Now, I'm easily swayed sometimes, and Ronald Richards has me swayed because I'm always like, Ronald, you're on social media, you're tweeting out things, and he's like, Adam, I don't like to call Twitter social media, which I have a lot of respect for, Ronald, but at the end of the day, is that not what Twitter is? Isn't it social media? So now I'm like retraining my brain how to say Twitter instead of social media, when honestly, at the end of the day, it's all the same shit. It's social. It's media. Social media. Social media. Twitter. Okay. I don't feel like I have to go on about that. But Meredith also put out a comment because fans addressed her, and this was last night when Andy Cohen said, tweet me all of your questions now for Bridget Everett and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City's Meredith Marks. They will be joining me for an upcoming Watch What Happens Live. And Not Dewey Riley said, question is for Meredith. Why are you still on the show? It seems like you hate it. And she said, good question. I should quit since most of the women enjoy spreading lies about me and my family. Not a problem. Okay. I mean, this didn't sit well. So I'm going to go ahead and start bringing up some callers. I see Allie Riley. I see Gabriella. I see Georgia Carolina in the room. I see Real Sparkle Deal and also Krista Marie. I'm going to go ahead and start going through. That way we can start moving on to the next few topics. We're going to take a little bit of time on this topic, not too much, but let's go ahead and start bringing up some callers. And I will start with Real Sparkle Deal because I don't think we've seen each other. Hi.
Hello, darling. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. How are you?
Fabulous. Fabulous.
Yes.
I just think Andy, come on, I don't know, because he messing with somebody I'm about to do an exclusive tell-all interview on, and it's no holds barred, honey. Because this thing is getting out of hand, and I have to do an emotional cleansing before I hurt that person, God forbid. And you know, it's a lot. As you know, I used to co-host with her brother on YouTube, but it's getting ready to go down. I don't know if the world is ready for a lot of the stuff that I'm about to say. And I'm not saying allegedly because I know a lot of things, but trust me, honey, the truth is the light, and some people masks will be taken off. But
wow.
I love you up in Adam. I saw you on I think you on Tasha K. What do you think about that? Because that's just I mean, and me and Tasha are friends, so I don't know.
Hopefully you're around because I'm also going to touch briefly on the Tasha K Cardi B situation.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick around for that.
To be honest with you, I've been following it. I don't report on it only because I have been on Tasha K's channel. Tasha K has been on my channel a couple of times, and I wasn't there for the comments that she made. I have heard them, and it really is unfortunate, but I will be covering it for sure. Real Sparkle Deal, thank you for calling in and being a part.
Hey, congratulations, I love you.
Wait, and if you're spilling tea, where can we find it? Real Sparkle Deal, you cut out, but please cut back in because we want to hear. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring up some more callers. Let's see. I'm going to go in line. Allie Riley, hi.
Oh my God, hi. Good morning.
Hi, how are you? Good morning.
I'm so good now. Oh my gosh, I didn't expect to be on here.
Oh my gosh. Well, hey, we're here for it.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh my goodness, there's so much tea going down. It's hard to keep up.
I honestly, at this point, I feel like last week was the week of trailers because we had so many trailers come out, and the week of Salt Lake City, like one bomb after another. I don't know what this week holds. It's only Tuesday, but it seems like, honestly, I feel like there's going to be a lot of spillover because things have not been properly addressed. And the longer that the network waits, the longer that, you know, the suit and ties wait at the head of Bravo and NBC, it's just going to get worse because everyone wants answers and going on and saying, trust me, things will be addressed. And when we were told that they would be addressed on Sunday's Watch What Happens Live, obviously that wasn't a proper way to address it. I'm just curious. I'm curious how this is going to go.
I know. I really don't want to have to boycott another Housewives franchise. I feel like we've done that enough.
Right.
But if Salt Lake City doesn't address things soon, I'm not sure what we're all supposed to do over here. I don't know. There's not a lot of different directions I feel like we should be taking this issue. So I don't know what's taking them so long to figure it out. Ramona just cannot be coming back. I just can't have Ramona on the screen personally.
Allie, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So there's two ways that this is going to play out. One is that they're going to keep Jenny around. They're going to have her come onto the show. Actually, three ways. They're going to have her come on the show. They're going to have her address the issues. And then they're going to push her off the show after she's given her statement. And then we'll see her phased out for the rest of the season, which, okay. Two, they're going to fire her, not let her speak, her side of the story and say why she posted those and how she feels about it. They'll just not give her the platform to do so, which a lot of people are calling for. Or three, they'll let her apologize, keep her around on the show, and I'm sure there will be a lot of people who will boycott.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it's option 3, there's got to be a lot more than just a quick apology. She says she's improved herself, move on. I think that's kind of an easy way out of it. I just don't think they need to give her as big of a platform as the show to address it, because that's also kind of feeding in the bad behavior, I think. So I think having her do like a Watch What Happens Live or go on wherever Andy does the radio, something where she can give an actual apology that's not just saying, oh, I deleted that, haha, because that's not taking any accountability, obviously. Right. So I do think she obviously needs to do something, and I think that would be helpful in people making peace to move on with the franchise and with Jenny personally, but not that she should then still be given the platform, be getting the paycheck, be on the show. So I'm not so certain about it.
Okay, Allie, this is going to be this is going to be one hell of a month, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because again, obviously they can't, the more time that they take, the worse it's going to get for everyone, unfortunately, because this should be addressed. They are a major network, and this is one person who said one thing who has impacted a lot of people. So I'm waiting. We're all waiting. We'll have to wait and see.
100%. And, as much as I know Andy has to wait for the suits, he is an EP and he's also the face of the franchise. So he needs to step up and do something to give the people, the fans, some faith and some understanding, because they follow his lead, a lot of times. So yeah, and I'm interested to see what happens with the housewives who spoke out against Jenny as well on Instagram and on social media, because technically I know there were rumors that was going to get them in trouble. I don't know.
Well, but that it was only Jen at first who was the one who was allegedly getting in trouble for her post, because she was the only one who actually named Jenny. But if you notice, Jason said something last night, which I'm all about some Bravo conspiracy sometimes.
Me too. I'm a conspiracy theory bitch all day long.
I mean, legit. And, when I was watching, Jason made a comment that he said all of the backgrounds are, black backgrounds with the white writing. It looks like it's pretty uniform for everyone who's speaking out about it, like almost as if it was navigated by the network and they were just saying, this is how you need to post it. This is what needs to be said. And if you see even Dr. Tiffany Moon, when she addressed the situation and she said that this is unfortunate and she used to call Jenny Nguyen a friend, her post looks exactly the same as the rest of them. And it reminded me of when the Vanderpump Rules stars all got fired and all of their posts were it was black backgrounds with white writing. It was pretty uniform, straight to the point. I'm like, this looks like it has Bravo's handprints all over it.
Oh yeah, some sort of PR person said this is exactly steps ABC. Keep yourselves safe from the mess to do that. And also, I just want to say congrats on being called on Watch What Happens Live, even though Andy did not say the 4 words on Adam. But you deserved it. And hopefully, maybe he'll go back to it, say your name one more time in the future. I can only hope.
I have another conspiracy, Allie, before I let you go.
Yeah.
Okay. I think what happened, because a lot of people have been messaging me and they're like, Adam, are you pissed at Andy? First of all, Andy, I don't agree with everything that a lot of my favorite, people have done. Like for Andy, I wish he would address this better, but I do look up to Andy for what he's built. Almost like Kris Jenner. Like, I don't love everything about the Kardashians, but Kris Jenner is a mogul, right? And for Andy, I was trying to understand, why would you not at least drop the name? But then when I realized that they pre-recorded this on Wednesday, my interview dropped at 5 p.m. They pre-recorded it, I believe, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon before the interview dropped. I think what they were trying to do is not mention the name just in case, because they as a network didn't have control over the narrative because it was my interview and they're not going to know what's coming out. So I'm wondering if they didn't mention my channel just in case there was more outlandish stuff inside of the interview. And they're like, hold on, we don't want to send people that way, but we do want to at least somewhat address it. I'm trying to give somebody a bone here.
Right. You're trying to throw a bone, be nice about it. But that is an interesting theory. As long as the Wednesday at 3 o'clock is an accurate timeline, because I also have a little bit of a theory that they're saying Wednesday because that happens to be convenient. That's the day that the Jenny stuff broke. Right. And they didn't have to give more detail, but agreed. Hopefully they'll in the future send people there because it was obviously an amazing interview. It gave so much information. It should be swarming the Bravo spheres.
Listen, I have more conspiracy theories, but Bravo, I'll leave you alone for the rest of the day. I'll leave you alone. Allie, thank you for calling in. I appreciate you. And thank you for waking up with us.
Oh, thank you. It's so fun. Have a good rest of your stream. I'll be watching.
Hey, and hopefully we can steal you back another day. Anytime you want to call in, I don't care if it's tomorrow, call in. We love it.
Oh my God, perfect. I will. And hopefully I'll actually have my clothes on and such so I can put my camera on because I'm a mess right now.
Hey, however you want to call in, we just appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks, Allie. All right, guys. So we're going to bring up a couple more callers before we move on to the next subject. 350 people in the room, less than 20 minutes in. Smash that like button. I do want to bring up, before we move on to the Cardi B and Tasha K, and that's a whole situation in itself. I'm going to bring up Georgia Carolina and then Krista Marie Miller, then Gabriella. Okay? Hi, good morning. What time do you wake up?
Hi. I have been up. Well, I've literally been up since 2 o'clock this morning, but that's an entirely different conversation. I had an experience. I had an experience on YouTube at 2 o'clock this morning that has left me nearly traumatized.
Oh my God. I saw your tweets this morning and I was like, I don't know what Jordan's up to and I don't know what's going on, but it didn't seem like you were having the best early morning.
I was just having a conflicting experience because I was seeing some things on YouTube about a person that I know, and it was a really bad situation that was happening to them. And I was like, wow, this was a lot. And it was just piecing a lot of things together. I was like, ooh, gee.
You know, people always think too, and when I talk to my family, Georgia, do you model? You're gorgeous. You've got an amazing bone structure.
Thank you. You know, I actually used to, but thank you.
People, don't realize there's a lot of times on here where YouTube can be absolutely amazing in a way to communicate and connect with these incredible communities, but also sometimes it can be really emotionally and mentally draining. Like there are moments where you immerse yourself into the content that's going on and it's so toxic and you can't help but wear it. And sometimes I'll come out of my studio or my guest bedroom, whatever you want to call it. I call it a studio because it sounds better. Yeah, and there's no bed going in this room. This is a studio. Okay, so
there's no bed, then it's not a bedroom.
Yes, period. Thank you. Thank you,
now
Jordan.
It's an office.
But I will sometimes leave my room and I'll go talk to Jason and Jason's like, hold on, reel that shit in. Do not bring that energy to me. I don't know what you're talking about. Breathe for a second. I'm like, you have no idea. And he's like, okay, I need you to calm down. It's too much. So I do it.
I completely understand that thought process. I completely get that.
All right. Well, obviously you heard the audio with Andy. I saw you down in the back room when we were listening to it. I do want to know, so we can move on from the topic. I wanted to bring up at least another caller. Do you accept this as addressing the situation, or do you feel like this was damage control?
I don't even know how to describe this as damage control. There's a lot of issues here. One, the tone of the way that he was addressing it sounded very dismissive and like he's talking about it because he has to, not because he genuinely cares. One. Two, it's like you're not even. Here's the thing. and I've been saying this throughout my content for the past week. If you're not going to actually speak about what the issue is, then don't speak about the issue. Because it's like the refusal to even use the word racism in this situation, like, this is what this is. This is what we're talking about. This is what is happening.
Right.
Like you're not even saying what the posts are, and you're saying that the posts are from a couple years ago. We're only in January of 2022. This was 2020 and the latter half of 2020. But y'all can go watch all of my videos on this and down to the Georgia
So really,
Carolina
it's
to go
only a
figure
year
that
and a
out.
half. And you know what? People also, too, that's an important fact here is people automatically say, that was 2 years ago, 2020, 2022. I understand the years sound like 2 years, but we just, like you said, we're just 3 weeks into 2022, just over 3 weeks. It's
And
not,
think
we
about it
just got here.
from a production schedule. If the last post that we can see of her posting racist, intentionally discriminatory rhetoric on her Facebook was December 2020, and all of the things that we were seeing from this past season of Salt Lake City was through 2021, that means she was either in negotiations to come on this show or she was already filming when she was posting these things. So
Well, and that's what Zach Peter said yesterday on our celebrating 100K. Zach said, at this point, they have a third party when you sign up, or they start vetting you. And how this works is they'll do interviews. They interview like a ton of different people for these shows. And then if they like you, then you come back for a second follow-up interview. If you come back for the second follow-up interview, you sign like a little basic kind of contract saying, okay, you agree to let the people into your home. And then they'll start going through your social media. They'll comb through and make sure that you have kind of a squeaky clean brand for the show or for the network, which is kind of ironic because now it seems like most housewives do not. And then, like Zach said, there is a third party who will comb through their social media because, well, they want to know, what have you been saying and what's going to surface? And I'm curious, was this missed or was it not missed? And it was now being used as a scandal to push. Like, did they know this was going to happen and it was a part of a bigger scheme? And eventually Jenny was going to be used as collateral to throw her under the bus because they're like, wait a minute, she said this is on you, but now we're going to throw you under the bus down the line. Like, what? This is all conspiracy theories.
If this was a scheme that Todd set up to come to black people with the bullshit, then they're handling it terribly because they're making themselves look bad in the process. The problem is that y'all have fired and subsequently condemned people on your network for less in this situation. So it's confusing to me as how this is the most direct, vile, aggressive display of blatant racism that we have ever seen from Bravo. And y'all have to address, like, I'm confused. How have y'all not been able to say anything? But yet, y'all fired 7 people from Vanderpump Rules, all for posting the N-word 10 years ago or variants of the like. Y'all canceled a whole show basically around the sensitivity of this issue.
Dallas.
Like,
yeah, I mean, honestly, no, and that's what Emily D. Baker was saying yesterday too. And I always love when she comes on because I love listening to it from a legal standpoint. And she was even like, what is the line? Like, is there an HR? There needs to be something that says, like, if you exhibit, this kind of behavior, these are the repercussions. If it happens once and it's like to the extreme, like Jenny's situation, you get fired. If it's something where, you go out and somebody catches you on tape, they're trying to take a photo with you and you tell them to piss off or something, but you exhibit bad behavior, okay, maybe we give you a warning. But there should be a set structure of like, this is what happens because you are representing a major network. Anybody who goes to New York, you see NBC, you see where the headquarters, like, this is not a mom and pop production here. This is a massive, massive media conglomerate.
Some of these shows have been going on for 15, 16, 17 years. And yes, I understand that every production like each franchise is basically ran by a different production company. However, this network has an overall standing. So the head of this is like that. Where this starts is Bravo. My issue is, it all comes off a bit hypocritical because when it's blatant, flat out, like the issue is what it is, y'all are hesitant to speak about it. Prime example, like when Mary made the whole slanty eyes comment about Jenny, there was no holdup about people being able to mention that, talk about that on social media. They were able to say whatever they wanted about that. There was no issue. But then here we go to this, and then now there's been multiple housewives saying that they weren't able to speak out until a certain time frame. And to your point, why do we keep getting these black backgrounds with white that, like, it's like this is the new iPhone notes apology.
I
You
mean,
get what I mean?
And again, another conspiracy, and this is nothing, I'm not bashing anybody, but I feel like maybe the Mary stuff was able to be addressed sooner because it went through the editing room, and Bravo specifically chose, when you could have cut this out, you could have cut it out, but they specifically chose to put it in, and they would know this is going to spark controversy and a conversation. But by choosing to put it in, they're already one step ahead of the narrative in trying to control it. Whereas the Jenny post, if they didn't know this was coming and then somebody picked up on it and put it out there, they're not ahead of the narrative. So right now they're trying to do their best to get a grasp on it. That way they can control this bullet train before it crashes into a wall. I don't know. I'm just as curious as all the viewers.
This is another issue that I have, though, and I'm sure that a lot of your viewers have this same issue. What are your people's vetting system, and why is it not as extensive as it should be when you've had multiple instances of there being racial or racially insensitive talent that you've hired on this show, and you expect us to commend you when we do what you should have done when you were hiring them? Like, we're not going to congratulate you for us doing your job and finding these folks out, and then you just doing what's right and firing them. Like, it's confusing to me because when Bethany created her company and launched into $100 million stratosphere, y'all instantly changed them damn contracts. So why are y'all not handling the way y'all are vetting your talent when they continuously get called out and subsequently fired for racism? Like, y'all ain't slick, bruh.
To kind of play devil's advocate here, though, too, we know that they're filming season 3 already for Salt Lake City, and they are still currently casting while they're filming they're on week 2 at this point. This is week 2 of filming for Salt Lake. Now they'll film for 3 to 5 months, or however long it takes. I'm sure that they expedited filming in order to catch everything that's going on with Jen Shah. But if they're still taking submissions and trying to vet out women, then it makes me wonder, how much time are you really putting into looking into these women to see if they do have a scandalous background or if they do have views that aren't like aligned with the best of, how long does it, you know what I mean? Like, maybe they're not putting as much time as they should be.
All I know is if you go to the gas station and put your application in for a job, they background check takes 48 hours at the most. So I'm sure y'all can take, with your team of lawyers and team of people, I'm sure y'all have the resources to put in an extensive background check. I'm sure I'll give y'all a week. Take a week.
I'll give you all
Take a week. Go for it. Take a whole 7 days. Or in fact, take 5 business days. Excuse me. Y'all gotta sleep too. But Jesus, what's it gonna take? Because y'all instantly snapped on that Bethany clause. I'm just saying.
Listen, when you bring in $100 million, I think that Bravo was like, okay, no, hold on. We put you on the map. We're collecting too. Because even when I asked Tamra Judge, and guys, I know that there's more callers down. I'll start rotating the callers and the topics. Don't worry. But I do want to mention this. When I interviewed Tamra last Wednesday, I asked her, because one of the rumors about Shannon Bedore still being on the show was that her business was thriving and that Bravo gets a percentage. So it makes sense for them to keep her on the show because she's practically paying herself. And I asked Tamra, I was like, is that true? And she said, I'm calling bullshit because my CBD company has made over $1 million. It's $1 million business. Shannon's, I don't think, is. And not to mention, if they are getting a percentage, I also think that's bullshit. And she's like, but I had an old contract. I wasn't one of the newer housewives. I don't know what they were putting in it.
That is fair. It's just confusing to me because the way y'all have handled things in the past, and this is a
Right.
more severe situation, it's like it's all confusing. And mind you, like I've said in my content, I think that we should be holding Mary Cosby, for the people who are going to try this in the comments and pass the buck on this. Mary Cosby was just as guilty for the things that she said as Jenny was of posting these things. That the difference is there are misdemeanors and felonies of racism. But y'all can go watch my most recent uh thing on that down to my channel. But I just there's a there's a lot of questions that we have, and they're leaving a lot of holes in stories for us to pick and pry. Like, they're not making a lot of things make sense. Like,
Right.
if they were just able to put things out there and was like, what are we actually talking about? Like, this is what the problem is. This is the steps that we have to take to correct it. So give us this amount of time to do our due diligence. We would be fine with that. But just sitting here, leaving us hanging, and then throwing us these breadcrumbs like we are some thirsty dogs is disrespectful.
Okay. I listen. I agree. I
Just an
agree.
opinion.
Jordan,
My opinion.
stick around. I appreciate you. I'm going to throw up another silly little video. I see Steven in the room, Krista Marie. I'm going to start bringing up more callers, and I'm going to move on to some more subjects. I hope you're around. I'll bring you back.
All right, babe.
Thank you. All right. Georgia's pretty. I know I saw you somewhere. I like that. All right. Jordan always comes in and gets the best compliments. You guys are like, Adam, piss off. Jordan's here. Your hair looks amazing. Look at your bone structure. My gosh. Hey, share the love, guys. Okay. I want to move on to this next topic. And it was a topic that I kept on saying that I was not going to cover because I know Tasha K. I don't know Cardi B, but I love Cardi B's music. And especially that collab with Lizzo, Rumors. I will always play it in my car. But, you know, I knew about this lawsuit for a long time, and I was curious what was going to happen, who would come out on top of this. Now, if you guys aren't familiar, Cardi B and, well, Tasha K were in a lawsuit. And in this lawsuit, Cardi B was awarded $1.2 million. Apparently, they awarded Cardi B $1 million in general damages and $250,000 for medical expenses for a grand total of $1.25 million. Now, this lawsuit started back in 2019 when Cardi sued Tasha K over a series of videos that she posted on YouTube. And she claimed that she had herpes and said her sources told her that the rapper liked hard drugs. Well, Cardi said her allegations caused her extreme emotional distress and said the claims were false. This is one of those moments where you can't just say anything you want to say on the internet. Everyone is still a real person. And while, just to be clear really quick, I want to say this. 500 people in the room. I've had conversations with lawyers before because I was brought up in the Erica Girardi case, the Girardi scandal, and my YouTube channel was brought up in the court documents, and it scared the hell out of me. I got a call from one of my favorite legal experts, and I was on my way out to dinner, and they're like, Adam, you got brought up in the Girardi scandal. I thought my YouTube channel was going to be taken down. I mean, my heart sank into my ass. It was the worst feeling ever. I can't explain it. But I never say anything about Erica that is not on the internet. I don't say, let's take her down. I don't make up rumors about her. I simply say, this is what's happening in court. Do you guys believe it? Do you not? I want your opinions. I never sit up here and try to act like I know what's happening in Erica's personal life or crucify her for what's going on behind the scenes because I'm not the judge or the jury. I don't know shit about that. So I just talk about what I do know, which usually it's facts, or I bring on a legal expert to talk about it. Now, when I was talking to one of my favorite legal commentators on YouTube, and I'm sure you guys know who that is, I was asking about defamation of character. If you're a public figure, defamation of character is extremely hard to prove unless you just get pretty outlandish with your comments. Like, for example, saying that somebody might have an STD or that they might be using hard drugs unless you have photos or you have their medical records or that's public knowledge and they've confirmed that, that could easily be defamation. And that's exactly what happened in this situation. Now, continuing on, when Cardi took the stand, she said that she felt at one point that she wanted to take her own life. And she said that allegations caused her anxiety and led her to lose weight. She actually said on the stand, only an evil person could do that shit. And she said that she felt the lowest she ever felt in her life. The emotional damage caused a strain in her marriage and caused her to hire a therapist. Now, for Cardi, Well, she won. For Tasha, she went to Instagram and she decided to share, my husband and I and my legal team, we fought our asses off. This happens with people who are in my position. You do get sued. It does happen. They fought a good, hard fight, but at the end of the day, she did lose. She is trending on Twitter right now. I don't know, what this is going to look like for her YouTube. Honestly, at this point, a lot of people are continuing to follow Tasha, and she's hit over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. So I think this, in some crazy world, half of the audience is going to be like, no, we're not watching because we stand Cardi B. And then the other half is going to be like, who cares if Tasha got sued? She's trending anyways. And I'm like, what crazy YouTube world do we live in? But I'm going to go ahead and bring up some callers just to see what you guys are thinking. Let's go. Let's do 2 at a time. Hi, Krista. Hi, Steven.
Hey. What subject are we on?
All right. Hi, guys. Good morning.
Hey.
Hello.
Okay. All right. So, Krista, I'll start with you on this. Were you surprised that Cardi B won the lawsuit, or did you not know anything about this?
I thought Tasha K won. Oh no, Tasha. Oh yeah, she was guilty. Right. Oh no, I'm not surprised. No. I mean, I wasn't, like I said, I didn't really pay too much attention to it till just recently because I kept hearing all about it. And then when I heard what was said, then I was like, oh yeah, like there's no way that Tasha K can get away from this. But but the whole thing with defamation, is that what is so, I don't know. Steven, what do you think? I don't even it's, so basically what she said was defamation of character, right? And like
pretty much, it's defamation of character.
But doesn't that happen all the time? I mean, doesn't that happen?
It can happen all the time, but it's up for the court to decide whether or not it's true defamation because you're a public figure. So as a public figure, you put yourself out there to be scrutinized. If somebody says they don't like Cardi or they don't like her style or they call her names, that's not defamation. But if you go out and you spread blatant lies about someone, then that can be defamation. Steven,
I'm starting. I mean, because technically, I defame Jax all the time. You know what I mean? Like, technically, I do that all the time.
Don't admit to that, Krista.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I'm not allowed to say his name, so we'll say. You know what I mean? But like, no, that's. It was pretty vicious. So I mean, that definitely was a criminal situation. It got really like dark, but I just, I don't know. I think
if anything, it's more about, like, at the end of the day, if you look at it like this, well, in the UK, we're a bit more kind of protected because that even brings us back to the Jenny stuff with the checking of someone's background and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like we've had reality TV shows. People have had put up tweets 10 years ago and then they're instantly removed, even during production or out. And with the Tasha stuff, like I heard about it this morning because I think it's, if anything, I think, is it more that this is a sign to other people that create content, on YouTube? But I guess, like you're saying, she's got an STD, you're saying that she did hard drugs. I also have seen before, not you, Adam, but I have sometimes watched people on YouTube and they'll talk about someone and I'm literally like, you've got an axe to grind. Sometimes it's like becomes a little, and I've seen that across the board, So,
I mean,
it's me. Sorry, hold on.
Well, I think you shouldn't be threatening people. Like you shouldn't be,
Yes, so I do think you're going in. I don't know. Sometimes can sometimes really be viewed like, why are you so like obsessed? What are you trying to prove? Like,
true.
If I don't know. So I guess it was easy for her to be found guilty. Like,
now what?
It's not proof that you had to see a therapist because you had anxiety.
Krista, hold that thought real quick too. I'm going to bring up Tea Talk with Shaw with us real quick too. Hi, Shaw.
Hey, Adam, can you hear me?
Yeah, there's a little bit of an echo.
Oh, hold on. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
I'm walking my dog. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. All right, Shaw, what was your take on the Cardi B Tasha K lawsuit?
So, I have a lot to say about this. So I'm also a podcaster and I focus mainly on gossip and things like that. So this case to me was particularly interesting. And honestly, I just feel like Tasha K had so many opportunities to leave it alone. And it was just like, I think what Steven said, a personal vendetta against Cardi. and they had history that she just wouldn't let it go.
Mhm.
Right. Well, and a lot of people were saying that Tasha K did say, and Annie J just said this too, Tasha admitted that she did things for views and she basically had no empathy. But I believe, and I don't know this if this were the exact words, but people were saying, and I haven't heard this, but I do know Tasha K, that she was kind of bragging about the fact that no matter what, it was still putting, getting her channel more attention, and it was getting her views and likes. I don't know if that's true.
She's going to have loads of views now. Isn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, now she's gonna have more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The
Like,
response to
It,
the
it was
comments.
definitely the Cardi videos were some of her most viewed videos. And if you go back to kind of Tasha K history, because I've been watching her for a long time, she was interviewing a lot of the love and hip hop people. Cardi B refused to come on her platform. And I think it started from there. And then, as Cardi got bigger, it's just impossible to book Cardi, right? So I think from there, it just became like, you think you're better, you think, whatever. And then the cease and desist came out, and then she's like, I'm going to wipe my ass with it. And it was something that came out in the trial, that she said that, and that was recorded and put on YouTube. So we all have to be very careful of what we put on YouTube, because you just never know where it can be used. And once you put it on a public platform, it is, it can be taken as evidence, especially once you get involved in something like defamation or libel. Cardi was able to prove damages. There was just a lot of things that added up against Tasha K.
Wow.
But yeah.
Just because someone's a public figure.
I mean, was she? I mean, she was. They were telling her to stop doing it, right? Was Cardi's like they were telling each, like,
Well, that's what a cease and desist is. It's
right.
Like,
So,
be
and she had
quiet,
stopped, correct?
or else this is
Yeah,
going
had
to-
she had taken, and to my legal understanding, whatever that is, had she had taken those videos down at the time of the cease and desist, I believe that that's the end of the case right there.
Okay.
That they don't go ahead and move forward with anything else. But because she
That's
was
where
just
she
so
went wrong.
dead set, right? I think it just became so personal that she was so dead set on the content, how much money it was making her, how it made her feel like there's certain things that you just will never get over on me. Because Cardi, multiple sources have said Cardi reached out through other people saying how much it was bothering her, especially the things that involve culture, and she just would not take it down.
Yeah. I needed a little more insight, because I was trying to figure out where the line was of where it becomes almost criminal, and she was threatening her, or she was telling her to take him down. And once you go past that legal stuff and you keep doing it, that's where it becomes, it's personal at that point.
And that's why a cease and desist is so vital. Like a cease and desist is like the kindest, most legal way to be like, shut your mouth. Unless you want to really take this to the next level. And for Cardi, honestly, she has a machine running behind her at this point. She makes over $500,000 a show, even sometimes more. She makes a lot of money. And if somebody thinks that, it's just, I know Tasha K, I'm sure, is making a shit ton of money as well. I'm sure she does fantastic, especially with 1 million subscribers. But it's still, I don't know. I don't think it's anything close to what Cardi's making, and that's a hard one to go up against, especially when you're in the wrong. But
right, and I guess Tasha knew what she was up against, and she kept it going. So I can't really. She's guilty. You know what I mean? She knew it was going to happen. She knew this was going to happen.
Well, now the jury's going to decide today on not only on the $1.25 million, but there could be other repercussions and consequences based off of punitive damages. So we're going to figure out what that means. One person, Cece, just said, question, can Tasha lose her YouTube channel now since it's been proven?
Yeah, people are saying that.
Wouldn't you have done already?
Well, I talked to a lawyer about this. Not about Tasha K specifically, but yes. In fact, if Cardi B wanted to push for that, she could, and it would be up to the courts to decide. And then obviously that would be something that they would have to deal with Google and YouTube. Wow. But I mean, people have lost their YouTube channels for less. So yes, you can absolutely, you're not guaranteed just because you think, oh, I'm streaming on YouTube, that YouTube's not going to kick you off. TikTok kicks people off. Facebook and Instagram, they ban people. Twitter bans people. YouTube is no different. But I mean, just to be fair, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next subject, though, because I don't want to just sit here and ream Tasha K and Cardi. So, Shaw, Steven, Krista, if you don't mind, if you're going to be around, stick around. I'm going to go ahead and drop you and move on to the next subject.
All right. Thanks, Adam. Yeah, I'll be around.
Take care.
Right. Thanks, Shaw. Thanks, Steven. Thanks, Krista. All right, guys. So we're going to move on to the next subject. Before we do, I have another. I just want to say I'm one for a good happy hour. I love happy hour. I love going out for bottomless mimosas. I love a good brunch, but I like it within reason. Now, there was something that was sent to me, and I had to just bring it back really quick because I saw this. Here it is. Who the gets this?
That is the greatest Bloody Mary. Oh my God. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, you wow.
Okay.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I think we're a little beyond at that point, but it does make me excited for the weekend, and I'm excited for brunch and happy hour already, even though I'm taking a week off of drinking because we are going on a trip. Okay. Anyways, I want to talk about some more Bravo news stuff that's coming out. So we do have a new Balek. Where the hell am I this morning? I need more espresso. We do have a new Below Deck coming out. It's Below Deck Sailing Yacht. The trailer has dropped. So if you guys want to watch the trailer, you can catch it on Bravo TV, which means this guy right here in the middle, Captain Glenn, is back. Now, you guys know I don't cover Below Deck on my channel, but Jason on Down with Jason absolutely does. And he does an 11 p.m. anchor watch every Tuesday night, which means tonight Jason's going to be streaming from our room, which means Adam's sleeping on the couch, which means I'm getting no sleep. Fantastic. But Below Deck Sailing Yacht is coming back. And I did want to ask you guys in the live chat, is this something that we're excited for? Are you excited for Daisy, Captain Glenn, and some of the cast members, the original cast members, to return? Or is Below Deck Sailing Yacht not one of your favorites? Most people love Mediterranean and the original Below Deck with Captain Sandy and Captain Lee. And Captain Glenn and Below Deck Sailing Yacht has been kind of a slow crawl, I'm not going to lie. But I still want to know if people are interested in it and if you will be watching. Let's see. Love Glenn. I was excited until I heard what was happening this season. Yeah. Yes. Jason just said this. This is going to be disappointing for a lot of people. There have been a lot of controversial situations on a few of our different franchises. We just had one on this Below Deck. We have one on Salt Lake City. We had it on Dallas. Dallas is no longer around. We had it on Vanderpump Rules. And now I'm hoping Bravo doesn't put this out to... We're hearing that we're having another situation on Below Deck Sailing Yacht, which is going to upset a lot of people. And my only question is, if you know this is coming, if you have control over editing, why continue to put this content out there for people to be so upset and to, like, it hurts people? I don't understand, like, even, and this isn't, I'm not bashing Mary, but even Mary making the comment comparing Jen to the cartel and saying, referencing Mexican and just saying like that, it's hurting an entire community, and people really watching it affects them. So why would you continue to put out stuff that, unless it's just a spark for views or spark controversy to spark up a conversation and get ratings, I don't necessarily get why put it on if it does affect people the way it does. And how many franchises can we keep on doing this with? It feels like it's getting like, what are we doing? I would watch Captain Sean. What is happening? I don't know exactly who it was between. This is a question for Jason. So that's why you guys have to tune into Anchor Watch tonight at 11. I know Jason knows all about it. Honestly, for me, it feels like when Jason was telling me, I'm like, I can't go on and drop this on my channel. If Bravo wants to put this out there and not learn from the situations of just putting out all of this other outlandish stuff where people are upset and you're losing viewers and people are boycotting franchises, that's up to them. I don't run Bravo. I'm curious to see if this will make the air. If it does, it's probably going to be a lot of, there will be a lot of problems. Bravo is about to implode. Ugh. Jason, we are going to be sleeping. I need the tea. She's fired. Who's fired? Andy said that it's being looked at high up. If we have another racism issue, I'm calling the network to change its hiring process. Steven. Okay. Looking forward to it. Last season was great. No John Luke drama this year. Yeah, and John Luke was the father, just to be clear. But Below Deck is not my realm. Again, I'm excited. I'm always excited for a new franchise. I still can't wait for Real Housewives of Dubai, even though there's controversy around that. I want to see the opulent lifestyles and see if maybe bringing the Bravo cameras into an area that we're not familiar with, some of the laws and the the way that they run stuff over in Dubai. Maybe things will change when you have the whole world looking at this city. I don't know. We'll see, but I'm always trying to lead with the positive foot. I'm not trying to like reward, okay, there's bad behavior over here in this direction, so let's give them credit and kudos to it. That's not my stance at all. Let me just make that clear. But as we're moving on, we are gaining some Bravo franchises, but also losing some original Bravo celebrities, and Fredrik Eklund would be one of them. I don't know if you guys remember Fredrik Eklund from $1 Million Listing. He was on $1 Million Listing New York. He always has the most out there personality, to say the least. And he ended up being the only Bravo celebrity to ever cross over franchises. Now, we've seen crossovers like an episode or two where Vanderpump Rules went to Summer House, where Real Housewives of Beverly Hills filmed with Bethany Frankel from Real Housewives of New York. We've seen some crossovers, yes, but we've never actually seen someone leave a franchise, leave $1 Million Listing New York, and travel across and get booked as a full-time cast member on another franchise for Bravo. It hasn't happened. And if I'm missing something, you guys can go ahead and tell me, but this is not a thing. Just like when Lala Kent is saying, oh, well, if I leave Vanderpump Rules, maybe I'll go to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. That's a no. Caroline Stanberry was up for discussion to join Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Real Housewives of New York. She was on Ladies of London. She could have had a place in one of those areas easily. She has a lot of money. She lives the opulent lifestyle. But it's a conflict of interest. You're now crossing platforms and people won't understand it. They like to kind of keep it original to what it is. Now, for Fredrik, he announced, after an amazing 11 years, I've decided it's time for the next chapter in my life and to leave $1 Million Listing. It's the end of an era and a new start for me. I let Andy, the producers, and the executives know last week how grateful I am. Eternally grateful. I mean, what an incredible run that we had together. All of my most memorable milestones from the last decade I shared with all of you. Meeting Derek, our wedding, the miscarriages, the birth of our twins, and all the beautiful properties. I will always cherish that shared experience. We're going to miss Fredrik Eklund on the show, but I have a feeling we will see him back eventually. Maybe not on $1 Million Listing, but in some other capacity. So tonight is the new episode, and it's reunion part 1 of Vanderpump Rules season 9. It's only a 2-part reunion, so bravo. While you might not be listening to others that we're asking you for, you did listen to this. We don't want 4-part reunions. We don't need them. We're over them. A month full of reunions, we're just like, what are we doing? Especially when the first episode, the first part is like, hi, Lisa. How are you doing? You're doing good? All right. This is going to be a rough one. Katie, how are you today? Are you ready for this? Okay. All right. Tom and Ariana. And it's like, that's the first 30 minutes. What are we doing? This is frustrating because we didn't get shit. We just got introduced to a cast that we just spent 20 episodes watching. We don't need a part 1 of the reunion, seeing them get their makeup done and everything. And we don't need 4 parts of a reunion to get us through something that could really take 1 or 2 parts. Just saying. Maybe I'm bitter because my name wasn't mentioned on Watch What Happens Live. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Point is, we don't need 4 parts of a reunion. But what I did want to say is Katie Maloney did recently come out, and she is talking about trying to get her friends back on the show, Stassi Schroeder and Kristen Doty. Now, she didn't say specifically that she's like fighting for them to get back on the show or anything, but she did come out while being asked about her new sandwich shop, which will not be called Maddox and Maloney's. It's going to be called something about her. But they are moving forward with the sandwich shop. If they do get picked up for season 10, we will see that on there. Shorts and Sandy's from Vanderpump Rules, their new restaurant, Tom and Tom's, that should be opening in March. So all of this will be happening along with James and Raquel's breakup and Lala and Randall's breakup. They might actually have a season 10 under their belt. In the meantime, though, Katie was saying that Kristen and Stassi, I think that they've learned that they would love to be back on the show. It doesn't feel right filming without them. And there was a lot of backlash. Guys, 600 people in the room. Don't forget to smash that like button. You guys are showing up this morning. There was a lot of backlash because people are still pissed off. They're like, no, hold on. We canceled you. And we just canceled you 2 years ago. So we don't want you back yet. And then other people are like, did you just watch season 9? It wasn't exciting. Maybe they've learned it's time to bring them back, which is obviously going to start up a whole nother conversation. And at this point, it's probably not going to go in Bravo's favor if they do bring them back, because they've taken a stance. They fired these cast members And even though they might think we put in the work, we're sorry. Fans will most likely boycott the franchise if they decide to bring them back. I'm curious what you guys think, and if this is something that, well, one, you would want. Would you want season 10 with Stassi and Kristen to come back? Is it that time? Or absolutely not? Keep the cast. Let's look at the sandwich shop. Let's see Lala's breakup, see James's breakup, and stick with the cast that we got for season 9. Let's see. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. I am an admitted Stassi apologist. I get why she was fired. I get everything about it, but I truly feel it was more ignorance than malicious, if that makes sense.
Okay, well, to be fair, a lot of people said that stuff that she would say that she probably didn't necessarily mean, but she would do it for kind of like a clickbait situation to get attention on her. And
Exactly.
just because she was rewarded, almost like Ramona on Real Housewives of New York, was rewarded for so many seasons on this platform saying outlandish shit that would get people, you know, like, oh my gosh, did she say that? Like one time she said that she wants to wrap a toy, a female toy, or a male toy, it could be any toy, but a toy and barbed wire and acid and give it to Kristen as a gift when she hated Chris. Like she says crazy shit.
And she does. My thing is that she's more reactionary, and I just felt like she matured and grew up. I hated her in season 1, but as the years went by, I saw the growth and difference with her. Kristen, no. Kristen, I could do without. I don't care either way.
Okay.
And Jax dug his own grave many times. I like Brittany. I wish she could be on, but I get that.
Right.
I just feel like Stassi brought good with bad. And I just don't feel like the show is the same without her.
So would you rather bring her back or just call the show quits?
I'd rather bring her back.
Okay.
I love the show. I kind of felt like I was watching what I wish I could be.
I wouldn't say, listen, I think that's a stretch. Trust me. I know these people. I don't know if you wish you would be in any of those situations.
Okay, that's probably true. Sorry. I don't want the show to end because I do enjoy it so much, but this year was rough. Charlie does 0 for me.
I mean,
I don't even know why she's there. She was there. It felt like so infrequently, just kind of threw her in to fill.
Like a seat filler.
Exactly.
I think what happened was since they tried to get her back, but she wouldn't come back because the season 2 pay wasn't more than what her corporate job was paying her.
Yeah.
And after going through a whole year of a pandemic and losing a lot of money like we all did and trying to survive, she was like, okay, well, I lost my corporate job the first time when I started filming Vanderpump Rules because of some of my actions on the show. So they fired me. And now that I got a second chance and I got this new job, I'm not risking it again to film another season of the show.
I love Dana, and I totally get where she's coming from. I thought she was a great addition.
Right. But I think when she didn't come back, I think that's when they were like, oh, Charlie, you don't really make sense, but let's bring you in, girl. It'll be good.
It just took everything down.
It doesn't make sense. We started off, and I don't mean to get excited about this, but one of the things that made Vanderpump Rules great in the beginning seasons was this was an authentic group of friends who knew each other.
That's where I wish I could be. I just loved the tight friendships.
Right. Which now, ironically, are not tight at all. But, okay, that's what a reality show will do to you.
Charlie made me actually sympathize with Jax on the season 8 reunion because I actually agreed with what he was saying. And that's not my usual opinion.
I mean, when she said, okay, you 40-year-old man, and you're like, I was like, whoo, Charlie.
Like,
Charlie was trying to get her seat
bad
back.
for Jax.
I mean, all right. Well, Jessica, I appreciate your opinion, and thank you for calling in. I'm going to go ahead and rotate, bring up some more opinions, but hopefully you're around tomorrow through Friday at some point to call back in to wake up with us.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I see some eye rolls down there in the call log, the back room. I see some head shakes. I see some smiles, and I see some, why not me? But we're going to bring up Larja. Let's ask her opinion.
No way. What's good?
Good morning.
100,000 subs, Adam.
Hey, I even have my
Right?
balloons still floating, but I was like, you know what? I can't do this every day. I got to get rid of the balloons. I might take a photo with them later or something just to celebrate. But you know what's weird? By the way, thank you for saying that. I had a real conversation with Jason last night, and I feel like he legit sat me down and he said, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "What did you mean by that?" And he said, because he was like, "Let's celebrate 100K. Let's go out to dinner. And I said, "I don't want to go out to dinner. I want to work." I said, "I'm not celebrating 100. I want to get to 150."
Right.
And he's like, "Well, Adam, you're never going to be happy. If you get to 150, you're going to want 200, 250. And I'm like, maybe I should sit back every once in a while and enjoy the milestones. I just don't have it in me to do it.
Well, I think your party yesterday was acknowledgement of all that. And
Yeah.
if you want to keep it pushing and reach your next milestone, go for it while you got that energy and motivation of this great accomplishment. Like, that's the time to go for it. Like, with
Thank
all
you.
this extra energy of success. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
At least in my humble opinion.
I appreciate you. Well, I love that you're sharing your humble opinion. So I definitely need to hear your humble opinion on this one.
Oh, Lord, you know I got thoughts.
Oh, gosh. Will you give them to us?
Please, Bravo. We're in the middle of this current racist fiasco that Bravo is handling by not handling it. Stassi and Kirsten, you know they filed a false police report on their Black coworker. They're like the epitome of Karens. It's disgusting what they did to Faith.
Right.
They should have no opportunity to come back and do anything, especially what have they done to show they've grown, Adam? Have you heard anything that Stassi's done besides have a baby with Bo? Have you heard anything that Kirsten has done?
She went on Tamron Hall and she tried to apologize. And I think this was PR crisis mode.
Yeah.
And Tamron handled that. So, like, I was just on the floor. Like, Tamron came and she did not come to play. She was like, but you said it. And she's like, Tamron, I understand that I said it. And she's like, okay, hold on. Don't get excited with me. You said it. And she's like, but I'm saying I'm sorry. She's like, is sorry enough? And I'm like, Tamron Hall.
Said anything to Faith, though? What did they say to Faith? If they're really sorry, what did they say to Faith?
Right.
And
I think what they did was they just put out statements, which is a lot of people looked at it like you're trying to save face because you're making $500,000 plus a season, plus your brand ambassadorships, plus your sponsorships, plus your podcast tours, plus your book deals. Like, you're trying to save face because you all just bought these $1.5 to $2.5 million homes and there's a mortgage to pay. That's what a lot of people felt.
And not to mention their responses were like almost cookie cutter. They didn't put any thought or heart into those apologies, which indicates that they don't even want to try to really get the effect that they had on this Black woman's life. You know, that lady could have ended up shot when the police finally approached her. But they just sat back and bragged about what they did. And she felt so entitled to her behavior that she put it on the podcast several times and bragged about it. No, don't bring her and her WeHo friend back.
Right. No, and I think that's it. First of all, when you dive in that deep, you know, there are so many different moving parts and layers to what happened with the Vanderpump Rules people, because it was a bunch of them all at once where things surfaced. And I think that people forget, not only was it calling the cops on Faith, but it was also, you know, ridiculous captions on their photos, like saying Nazi chic. And then there were also resurfaced tweets. Like, it wasn't just, this was not, there was a lot going on. This was like a car that had an engine and a transmission and wheels. There were a lot of moving parts to this vehicle that crashed into the Vanderpump Rules franchise. Rightfully so, all on the backs of the cast members who were the ones who exhibited that behavior.
Exactly. So I think there is like, I mean, I used to live in LA. There's a lot of people in LA that would love to integrate into their storylines. As a matter of fact, I think this could be a fabulous time for Vanderpump Rules to incorporate some true diversity on their screen. It's problematic for some tweeny-somethings to have no Black friends in their workspace.
And let me say this really quick, because I get a lot of comments where people ask me, Adam, when you were working at TomTom and Sir, and when Jason was at Pump, was there just no diversity? That is not true.
I know, I see it because you can see him in the background. Give
Right.
somebody and put a mic on that fool in the
Right.
background.
We had a lot of, yeah, that's what I was going to say. We had a lot of representation from all walks of life, all different communities. I don't understand. Like at first, I could see, you know, that this was an authentic group of friends, but there still wasn't diversity. But now that we're adding in people, like technically it was just said on here, you know, we had Charlie, and
Right.
Charlie makes no sense on the show because she's really not friends with anybody. They just
Right.
casted her in.
They cast her because she's diverse. Right.
But diverse how?
Well, she's not full on like Caucasian, right? Isn't she like, doesn't she say she's Italian and Spanish or something?
Right. Yes. And sure, that's diversity. Absolutely. That's definitely diversity. But I feel like people want more diversity than that.
Yeah, you know, I want more. You know,
Right.
I want more.
Right. I mean, and to be fair, one of my bosses who I absolutely love has an over-the-top personality, Richardson. When I was working at TomTom,
Yeah.
he has been working for them for maybe over 8 to 10 years. He's been there for a long time. He worked at Villa Blanca. He worked at Pump. He's worked at TomTom. He's now a manager. He has the drama. He doesn't put up with shit. I remember when we would do our more like when we would kick off a shift and he would legit make us line up and he would say, your belt's out of whack. Those suspenders are old. You have a ketchup stain. That's not going to work. And then he'd be like, Adam, sell me the whatever salad right now. And I would say, you know, this, and this. And if I didn't have the right ingredient, he's like, fantastic. Go study the menu. Somebody will cover your tables until you can come back to me and tell me the menu. Like he was just on it. And then
we need that kind of energy on that show.
Yeah, he was fantastic. And then if you knew what you were doing and you were doing your job right, he would sit there and dance up on you and he was having the most fun and he would laugh with you. He just wanted you to do your job. And he was a stickler because he did his job to 110%. So if you didn't deliver that same 110, get out of his face, which I love the way he ran the restaurant.
That sounds, I would love to see that. Like him juxtaposed against Peter, how Peter's with his, you know, is all kind of, he's fun too, but this other guy sounds like he could be a great addition and already knows the people. Why didn't the producers gravitate towards him and some of the natural people in that face? Why not, Adam? What do you think, honestly, is the reason that they didn't put a microphone on him?
Well, I know to be fair, for Richardson, I do know there was one moment last season 8, when I was still working at the show, and they had a girl on the show named Danica who was managing at SUR. And when they brought Danica in, and she completely came in she came in hot. And I worked with Danica at a nightclub called Liaison before she was ever working at SUR. So when I saw her, I was kind of shocked. But he actually kicked Danica out one night for her bad behavior and said, don't come back here. You're not welcome. And she's like, you're going to kick me out? I manage one of the other restaurants. So they mic'd her up and then mic'd up Richardson, put him at the front host stand, told him that she was coming over to apologize. So he thought that's what he was getting. And we had a whole line out the door. Mind you, this was when we were still pretty brand new. A whole line out the door. TomTom was hot. It's still hot. But there was a ton of people watching, and she walked up, and that is not what she came to do. She did not come to apologize. Instead, she put him on the spot. She started yelling at him.
Oh my gosh.
And he was like, what the I'm not doing this. I don't do this. And he got so upset, and he's like, take the mic off of me. I'm not doing this shit. I didn't sign up for it. I don't have a contract. You're not paying me. This is not what you guys told me. So I think he probably, within a matter of having just 2 seconds of what this reality TV stuff actually looks like, he was like, you know what? Count me out. I'm not doing that.
So he's too real for TV.
I think I honestly think he is. I think that it takes you have to play into this, where, you know, if you and I are having a conversation and I'm like, you know, Jason just walked out and I asked him if he would get me a coffee, and he called me, he was like, bitch, get your own coffee. That's me having a conversation with you. But on a reality show, it would be me like, Larja, can you believe that Jason called me a bitch? I don't know what to do. What do I do? And it's not everybody's built to put on a show like that because it's exhausting.
And it seems like it would be because, well, just what we're witnessing, it seems like it's a lot of work on that show to keep these and I think honestly, Vanderpump Rules it's feeling a little scripty these days. Like they might have to go back and get the shot again or something. I don't know. It used to feel a lot more authentic when they were just some kids at the bar and hanging out at work shifts. But now incorporating these households, and you know what I mean? It's just, I understand the show is evolving, but in that evolution, I don't see why they should have to revisit their racist friends without proving to the public beyond a shadow of a doubt that they have made some type of reparations in their own hearts before we have to tolerate them on TV again.
Do you remember, have you been watching Vanderpump Rules for a while?
Oh, since it started. I breastfed my babies on Bravo.
Okay, so there's a scene, and you'll catch me in it because my face is shocked, but there was a scene where Kristen Doty has the Miami girl show up to call out Tom Sandoval.
I saw that. Yes.
Okay, so I was in the restaurant. I remember I was the host, and I remember when she was getting mic'd up outside, Tom and Ariana were at the bar, and Kristen was sitting there at the little tables just smiling being like, it's going down. And I remember watching this girl, and I talked to her. I said, do you need a water or something like that while they were micing her up? And she had two friends with her from Miami, and they're like, go in there and say your piece and do what you got to do. Yeah. And production was like, you know, you're going to go in there and this is your time to tell your truth. And what happened was she went in there and they gave him a heads up that she was coming. That way Tom was ahead of the narrative, and then Tom was able to walk out. So she wasn't fully able to call him out. And then he ended up exiting stage left, and production was like, oh, well, what can we do? And she was sitting out front and she was squalling like, I got played. They played me to make this beneficial to their cast member, to make him look good because he's the one on the show. Now I'm going to look so stupid. I felt so bad for the girl because she legitimately flew from the East Coast to the West just to get played like a fiddle, thinking,
oh my gosh,
oh, I'm going to be, you know.
That was such an uneventful burn. I remember him leaving, and she didn't even really, and I wanted to know, did she really sleep with him? I wanted to know. I mean, I think everybody still wants to know that. But from what Tom says, no. From what Miami Girl says, yes. And Kristen, who knows what to believe at this point? I don't know. That's hilarious.
Kristen was on a mission at one point. She was on a mission to take down Tom Sandoval. So when someone's on a mission, I don't know if you believe everything that they say.
Yeah, I don't know what they could do to make it up to me. But in the meantime, there's a majillion people in LA. Start interviewing some other people that don't want to put their friends' stuff in acid and go from there.
Yeah, I agree. Larja, thank you so much for calling in.
I appreciate you, Adam. No worries, you guys. Hello to the chat.
You. Hopefully we get to see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Peace.
All right. Bye, Larja. All right. So, guys, I'm going to answer this, and I'm going to bring up our last three, Krista Marie, Steven, and Georgia Carolina, to end us off because we have a 12 p.m. To get to. Cece said, question, is the cast stale and dusty because Lisa B doesn't want to work with new people? No, I think right now, no, Lisa will work with new people all the time. She's not like that at all. I think right now with the cast, they know how production works, and it's easy to push them right back into filming. They have the gist of it. It's like they can get back on the bicycle and they know how to ride it. You're not reteaching someone how to ride a bike. Okay, that's like my best analogy. And I think it's harder to reinvest time into new cast members. However, then pan over to Housewives like Orange County, and we just added in 3 total new personalities that weren't used to filming at all. So it can be done. We've seen it. I don't honestly know what the answer is for that. I love these longer morning streams. Hi, good morning. All right, guys, over 615 in the room. Don't forget to smash that like button. This is a subscribers only live chat. So if you're not subscribed, get subscribed. I'm looking at my thing right now. We just hit 101,000 subscribers. So on our way to 150. Now let's go ahead and bring up Krista Marie, Steven, and Georgia Carolina. Let's try not to hit over each other and see if everybody can give their opinion on this. And then that way we can phase out and get to the next set of lives today. Let's go. Before I do, Ali Riley said, Adam and Jason are adorable. Haha, makes me think of me and Boo. Hopefully we'll make it to engagement eventually. When you do, you will. Don't watch the ID channel, because sometimes I watch Wives with Knives and Why I Took Out My Spouse, and I look at Jason and I'm like, you keep talking to me like you're crazy. You see what I'm watching. Be careful now. And that's not a good feeling. So just know that will come. Maybe a therapist is. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. I love Jason. I keep him around. I get so much shit for that too. People are always like, Adam, you're so mean to Jason. No, I'm not. I'm really not. Hi, guys.
I'm dying.
Hello.
Read me the house down for fun.
I like that speech.
Y'all think I'm shady on here, honey.
Steven, I'm gonna go Steven to Jordan to Krista, because I know Krista has some opinions on this too. Just to help us end off, I'm gonna ask each one of you and drop you as we go. Steven, I'm gonna start with you. The idea of bringing back these two to the franchise for Vanderpump Rules after taking a season off, is it a good idea or a bad idea?
Well, it's a bad idea, because at the end of the day, the ship sailed. I think where we are at the moment, we're in an era where any kind of racism, transphobia, homophobia, anything like that, it's how it's addressed and it's how it's handled. And unfortunately for Bravo, I feel like Vanderpump Rules really was the start of this, and unfortunately it either made things more apparent with other shows, and we seem to not have a consistent treatment of these incidents. Kelly Dodd gone, right? Like literally dropped and good. But at the end of the day, I do feel like this as well. These people had a platform. It was their bag. If I, on my job right now, if I talk like that, if I treated anybody like that, if anybody came into work and talked like that or treated like that, they wouldn't have a job anymore. Or at least when we mentioned Below Deck, you got to remember when these things happen between these people, there are cameramen, there are sound people watching this person behave like that. So to me, sometimes I'm a little bit like, it's not a nature program. You're not interfering. The lion rip the antelope apart. Like, do you at one point go up and go, hey, look, we've had a situation down here. We've got like this person who is in tears. They're being treated like this. We have got to somehow, production need to either come in and create some kind of narrative in the moment, or like I said, it's rage watching. Do we just let this play out? Court of public opinion. We equally let racist people not be held to account, put out some standardized Instagram posts. They haven't really learned anything. And we'll just leave them, they'll get hung out to dry, quite rightly, for what they did. Again, but we'll get more views. But we're creating now a viewership where you are watching it because you are getting angry, like even with Beverly Hills. Like, I get irritated at the thought of the Beverly Hills cast now. New York, at the moment, they irritate me.
Yep.
And now Salt Lake City has joined that. They are now irritating me. And it's not because I've got a personal vendetta against it, anything, but it's quite possible to have messy, petty reality TV without being a misogynistic. Well, no, actually, that's probably not it's misogyny, but without being an outright racist, you're being homophobic. And again, diversity. Where's the diversity? We've got New York, we've got LA. I just think like when Andy made that, it got released this morning, I listened to it and he kind of said, he just touched on something high up. I don't know if it's going to be, if Peacock take over Bravo, but to me, it's reading like there's a high up suit, or there's someone that's been in charge of stuff that has thought, we are not getting flat, we are not getting ratings with this kind of drama. It's got to be quick burn, criminal activity, completely divisive. It's also replicating the political field of America at the moment. It's either one thing or the other, because it's going to trend and people are going to watch. But either way, people are getting tired. They're either going to be quite rightly calling out social injustice, or you are making people believe that this is wokeism and you're just woke, you're basic, get on with it. It's instead of just watching people argue over turning up for dinner 10 minutes late or stealing a fashion designer or something. I'm just really hoping that Jersey is just really kind of nice.
We were a country, benign. A proper country.
Right. I mean, Stephen, I think that everybody in here, in the chat too, Ebony Dix, Dane Collar, we're all here, ears here. People are loving exactly what you're saying. Annie J said, preach, Stephen. Stephen,
100%.
Thank you so much for calling in and giving your opinion on this. Is there somewhere we can find you?
Well, I don't come on here too often. I do a podcast with my friend, just the Housewives Roundup. And again, I've always been, because we were in lockdown, I'll just touch on this, being a gay man as well, like watching with the BLM movement and stuff. Georgia might know about this, but there was like a lot of stuff online about the Chicago drag scene, and there was a queer town hall. So when you watch this mixed up with me and my friend Luke, we cover it in a pod. I'm not that timely. It's a passion project, but it's like I was saying, when I'm talking about these shows, I'm noticing how irate I'm getting. Like, and so yeah, I can put a link in the chat if people want to come listen. Absolutely. I try and stay very neutral and unproblematic. I stand on the right side of history, but also I do feel like the bottom line is, no matter what these people are doing, they've got a platform. They're selling tacky crap. Like, you know, at the end of the day, like, they're so fortunate, and some people don't deserve, in my opinion, like they just don't deserve the platform that they've got. And some producers need to. Did you ever watch the show Unreal?
No.
Did you ever watch? Okay, Adam, you need to watch Unreal.
I need to watch it.
Please go watch that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We put it on Prime. But Love in the UK. Someone said, "Do I know the Queen and the King?" No, but I am a Duchess. I'm in the UK, and I listen and watch you all the time. Congratulations on 100,000, 101,000 followers. You're a nice antidote to watch. And
thank you.
I'll carry on.
Stephen, thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate you and all of your words. Thank you. And Aaron said, please, Stephen, put a link. We would love to check it out. So hopefully you drop it in the live chat, and hopefully we can,
or at least drop the name in the chat or something so we can look it up.
I will do. I'll put a little link. Much love to you all. All right, take care.
All right, bye, Stephen. Okay. All right, Jordan, we're gonna move to you next. What are our thoughts? Stassi, Kristen coming back? Yes or no?
No, and here's why. And I want to kind of reach back to when we were talking about Dallas earlier, but then I want to specifically speak to Jessica. I think her name is Wally, the first person that you had on about this, and I want to ask you guys a question. The reason why I say no is because Bravo is not going to handle this properly. The reason I say that is because unless she's going to go on her Cameron Westcott anti-racism journey, where she actually brings people on her platform to teach her how to be anti-racist, then there's nothing for me to see.
Right.
There's nothing for me to see. Like they're not going to handle it correctly. Just look at the way that they've handled all of the other situations. They haven't given me enough consistency for me to just assume that they're going to handle this correctly. Like, I don't have faith in Bravo at this point. But to Jessica Wiley's point, or Wiley, I'm sorry, I don't want to mispronounce your name, but she was basically saying, you know, she feels like she deserves to come back because, you know, she was doing antics for attention, and she was doing it, you know, for the ratings and for the views of the show, to my understanding. And to that, I say, like, consider the action she was actually doing and then apply that logic. You're saying she was racist for attention, and you think she deserves a platform for that because she said the things that she said on podcasts to promote her platforms, whether it be the show, whether it be this, whether it be that. She called the police on her Black cast member. So how is that okay? Like those are the types of actions that we should be rewarding with national platforms.
I mean, that's
real
a great
question.
Point. No, I mean, obviously,
no.
No, it's the thing is like my dad always told me this my whole life, and I know I've said it on here before. It takes a lifetime to build up your reputation, and it takes a moment to break it down and show people.
And they were trying to hide what they did. They didn't put that on camera. They were trying to cover up that stuff.
They did it on podcasts. They said it. And I think that the interview where they were talking about where they called the police on Faith wasn't on straight up with Stassi, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was on somebody else's show.
It was
So
either,
not
I don't know
only
if it was on Not Skinny But Not Fat or Taylor Strecker. I don't know. It was
I
on,
can't remember the exact
it was on
podcast, but I don't
somebody's
think
for
that it was
sure.
hers.
Yeah.
And then you sit here and like whatever. Like y'all
You're
can go
saying
back
no.
and find it.
At the end of the day, you're
No.
saying no to Stassi and Kristen coming back to the show. You've showed us your true
No,
colors.
because I haven't
We're good.
seen her work to what she's done off camera to even justify her to be given a platform, and the consistency in the way that Bravo has handled this. No, they're not going to handle it correctly, and she hasn't done the work that I've seen to actually do something. Cameron Westcott actually went and brought a racial sensitivity coordinator on her podcast to actually teach her something. That is somebody who I would give a platform to, not Stassi.
Okay. All right. And Jordan, for those of us who don't know, which I don't know why I said us, I'm in the Jordan fam. And I have to say, and I know I always say this, you get so many compliments on here. I think it's amazing. I love this community so much. But Jordan, for those who don't know, will you let them know where they can follow you and watch your videos where you break a lot of this down?
Y'all can find me in the YouTube streets over in my own gated and racist-free community, Georgia, Carolina, where I give an empathic analysis of all things culture and entertainment, and then encourage you to watch, learn, and draw your own conclusions for yourself. I am your local Congresswoman, Jordan Renee, and I invite you to one of my lovely and inclusive town hall meetings.
Hey, guys, go make sure to go follow Jordan. Thank you so much, Jordan. We appreciate you, and hopefully we get to see you more this week.
Y'all will see me. Thanks, love.
All right. Bye, Jordan. All right, Krista. I almost said Kristen because we're talking about Kristen. Oh my gosh, I would never, Krista. Okay, so Krista, to help us end off, we have about 2 minutes here. What are your thoughts on Stassi and Kristen coming back? Are you for it or no?
No, because at first it wouldn't be like there'd be a lot of stuff that would have to happen for us to accept them, and it wouldn't be like a seamless thing where they would just slide right back in and everything would be okay. And the show is suffering anyway. So just for all the other reasons too, like all the reasons that Jordan said, all the other reasons, they have not stayed consistent. So are they now going to say that whether they learned or that didn't learn, that it's okay to have these people or these people that represent certain things on now? So they're just going to make everybody take a class or make everybody learn. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like their inconsistency is a freaking problem. And like, so no, don't bring them back. I mean, I have a lot to say about this stuff. With Vanderpump, where did the energy go? When you fired Vanderpump and said zero tolerances, where are those people at that made that decision? Did they just stop caring? Is it about money? Is it you think that if you fire everybody, you're going to lose money? I mean, I don't understand.
They said part of the repercussions for Ramona was to go to sensitivity training after they launched the investigation into her. But I am curious, you know.
But why not the Vanderpump kids then? So where was, you know what I mean? I'm not saying bringing them back.
Sensitivity training. Like, I do want to know, is that to kind of, okay, well, we're putting her through sensitivity training, or are you actually putting her through sensitivity training?
I think
what is Ramona learning?
I think they're just telling us they're like we're children or something. They're just like telling us to shut us up and think that we're going to wait. Oh, wait and see. It's been 2 years since the Vanderpump kids left. Numerous cast members of all their shows have been a problem. And see how angry I'm getting? It's like I said, it's like rock bottom of reality television in the last 2 years. And it's like my biggest reason is like I get so angry. I'm like, if I have to fast forward through like half of the show now because I can't stand watching certain people like Erica and stuff, I'm not happy anymore. Like I'm just not, there's just so much. And I just feel like Bravo, Peacock, and NBC, right? So if it would, so much would have to happen. I just feel that Bravo doesn't care. I don't think they really care how we feel. I really don't. Kelly Dodd got fired. Yeah. But how long did it take us to get her get off of there? You know what I mean? I really don't. I don't know.
And Steven Crisco said, what have they done that actually shows growth? Put
Nothing.
Up or shut up. Okay.
Like, are they going to have to go back now? They'd have to go through and see what everybody's done. It's just a lot. It would take a lot to bring them back. And I don't think we don't want them back. And Bravo needs to just figure out what they're doing, figure out where they stand and stay consistent, or I don't know.
I agree.
It's just, yeah.
Krista, to help us end off, will you let us know if we don't know where we can find you?
I'm sitting right here now. The unpopular opinion on YouTube. I'm working on some stuff this week, like more serious stuff I put out. Not serious, but like not bashing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
you know what I mean?
cotton candy content.
Yeah. Just, I mean, and just getting in there and like, I want to start setting up lives and stuff just so I can,
Yeah.
Because I'm getting, people really think I'm really like angry. And I'm like, guys, you have to see my, like, I am at certain things, but like when I'm saying other things, I'm really not angry. Just I'm kind of
passionate.
matter of factly.
There's angry and there's passionate. I think
right.
there's definitely there's a difference. So
Kristen,
we're not bashing your passion over here. We actually like to embrace it. So
and don't bash my purple hair either.
No, we love your purple hair, and thank you for doing that for the 100K celebration.
I was like, I gotta do something different because they were like older anyway, and I was like, oh, I got purple. I haven't done purple in a while, and I was like, all right.
Hey, we appreciate you. And Krista, thank you so much for calling in on another Wake Up and Adam. We appreciate you so much, and hopefully you'll be around the rest of the week because we would love to bring you back.
I'm here.
All right. Thanks, Krista. Bye. Somebody just said, nah, you're passionate for Krista. Yes, I agree. Hi, Adam. Love from Dublin. All right, guys. So I did pin at the top of this live chat. We made it an hour and 30 minutes with over 600 people in the room. I pinned it at the top of the live chat. Jason is going live tonight with See Josh Go and a Below Deck star herself. Okay, former Below Deck star. They're going live at 11 p.m. Eastern tonight, which is 8 p.m. Pacific, and they will be doing Anchor Watch. So hopefully you guys will be there. Join me in the live chat. It's going to be one hell of a conversation, always full of laughs, and I can't wait. Jason does it from our room, so I'll be on the couch, which means I can't sleep on the couch, which means I will be in the live chat. Okay, we have pre-records coming your way today, guys. Happy Tuesday. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week. We will be back tomorrow for Wake Up and Adam, and as things come, we will continue to drop them. I love you guys so much. Thank you again for 100K. We have amazing things coming. By this time next week, we'll be sharing all of it. I cannot wait why we're going on our trip. I can't wait to share with you guys what we're doing on our trip. It's just, I love doing surprises over here on this channel. It's always so much fun. So I love you guys. Don't forget to smash the like button. Thank you to all of our mods. Thank you to all of our callers, super chats, super stickers. Thank you to everyone. We will see you so very soon. Can't wait for Anchor Watch. We agree. Bye, guys. Love you.